Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is July 3rd, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a 17-year-old girl died by suicide around 11:30 a.m. Monday in Bayfield, said La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith. Smith declined to identify the teenager Monday night, saying she wanted to protect the privacy of the family. Smith said the cause of death was from a gunshot wound. The Upper Pine River Fire Protection District posted on its Facebook page Monday that said the problem of suicide has not been solved, not even a dent. The Fire District's Facebook post added, "Fire District medics are here for you and can get you to where you need to be. If you don't want to talk to someone locally, the 800 number is on this post, 1-800-273-TALK. Just reach out. If you're a parent who enjoys your gun rights, lock them up, trigger lock safes. Just hiding them doesn't work."
From the Journal, the most recent update on the Burrow Fire near Rico. Photos courtesy and credit Kelly Boyd and Owen Johnson. The Burrow Fire grew by about 135 acres over the weekend, reaching a total of 4,437 acres in the Bear Creek Canyon area. On Saturday, the fire showed growth along its northwestern, southwestern, southeastern, and eastern borders, according to the log from an infrared mapping flight conducted at 12:07 a.m. on Sunday. On Sunday, the flight at 12:05 a.m. showed areas of intense heat near bulldozer lines in the vicinity of West Mancus Road, Aspen Loop Trail, and the Highland, Colorado Trail. Another flight about midnight Sunday showed a number of small areas of growth, including to the southwest across the Aspen Loop Trail. The fire is also moving to the northwest, southwest of Bear Creek toward Colorado Highway 145. As of Sunday, the fire was about 4 miles from the highway. According to the infrared report, heat is detected north of the fire perimeter along Little Bear Creek and north of the perimeter south of Grindstone Trail. As we've reported, containment remained at 40%. The Burrow Fire is less than 2 miles from the 416 fire, which burns east of the Colorado Trail. On Sunday, Burrow Fire crews plan to reinforce fire control lines and remove hazardous fuels in the northwestern section near Little Bear and Bear Creek trails and in the southern section near Windy Gap. The eastern section, which roughly parallels the Colorado Trail, remained unstaffed. Firefighters continued to create backburns along the bulldozer line in the northwest section to remove trees and other fuels that could help the approaching fire cross the containment line. So far, backburn crews were staying ahead of the fire, Incident Commander John Norton Jensen said in a press release. He also said everything has dried out in the past week and a half, and we're seeing more and more fire activity each day, but our fire lines are in place and we have a plan to manage it, he said in the release. Public Information Officer Andy Lyons said the fire continued to move slowly toward Colorado Highway 145, but he doesn't expect to reach the road before the monsoon begins. Firefighters have been working with property owners along Colorado Highway 145 on protection plans if the fire reaches that area. To help decide which homes and other structures can safely be protected in a wildfire, firefighters use what they call structural triage.
According to the Cortez Journal, a 77-year-old part-time Durango resident who veered off North Main Avenue last year, killing a Fort Lewis College student and Italian tourist, had all charges against him dropped on Monday. Bobby Lehman, who lives in LaGrange, Texas, and has a vacation home near Hermosa, was charged with 2 counts of careless driving resulting in death stemming from the March 2017 crash. La Plata County Assistant District Attorney Brendan Richards said there wasn't sufficient evidence to prosecute Lehman on the charges, prompting the district attorney's office to request a motion to dismiss. Judge Dondi Osborne granted the motion to dismiss all charges. Lehman was reportedly headed north on Main Avenue around 4 p.m. when his Chevrolet Suburban jumped the curb near the Royal Motel in the 2000 block of Main Avenue and hit 2 pedestrians. The 2 people who died were identified as Alan Duke, age 23, who was 5 weeks away from graduation at Fort Lewis College, and Marco Ricci, age 46, an Italian visiting the American Southwest. Richard said the facts in the case didn't add up to being able to charge Lehman. Lehman told investigators he had drank a 12-ounce beer earlier in the day at Lady Falconberg's, now called the Cavern Bar, and grill, and there was some evidence suggesting Lehman had drank 2 to 3 shots of whiskey before getting behind the wheel of a car. But Richard said a test showed Lehman had 0.01% blood alcohol content compared to the 0.08 legal threshold for drunken driving in the state of Colorado. Lehman took the test nearly 2 hours after the crash, but even so, Richard said alcohol wouldn't have been a contributing factor in why Lehman drove off the road.
From the San Juan Record, courtesy photo. In Utah, Blanding City has officially hired Pratt Red as the first ever economic development specialist. For the last year, talk of economy development has come up in Blanding City Council repeatedly, almost more than any other topic. Many residents and community leaders feel the changes to their small economy need to be guided. Knowing the city did not have enough man hours to address the changes, Blanding City Council approved a new full-time job which started July 1st. For the first time ever, Blanding City will have an economic development specialist. This specialist will work directly with local and incoming businesses to help them grow, guide them through regulations, and help them find the resources that they need to thrive. Councilwoman Cheryl Bowers stated, "I believe with conviction that if we don't have a position that is dedicated and focused full-time on Blanding and what we want to see for our future, that the tourism environment could spiral while our well-rounded economic growth could be stunted. The recent developments with Bears Ears and the worldwide media coverage created a crucial point in our economic future that could not be left unchecked," Bowers stated. Other council members agreed with her, and they worked to make room in the annual budget for this new employee. In June, after a lot of thought, application reviews, and interviews, Pratt Red was chosen to fill the position. Pratt Red grew up in Blanding. After graduating high school, he attended Southern Utah University, where he received the BS degree in marketing with an emphasis in economics. Red is excited about his new position with the city and says he is most looking forward to working directly with Jeremy Red and the employees at the city. He's excited about their passion and relationship with the community. Red is excited to join a workforce that works so hard to please the community and hopes that he can do more of the same. While Red stated that he doesn't see any huge issues in the local economy right now, he does think there is always room for improvement and hopes to dedicate time each week to finding problems and working to resolve them. He feels that his main role in this new position will be to help businesses with their needs and develop plans to better their business. He plans on taking some time and getting to know all the business owners throughout next year. Red said he would like to see new businesses come into town that would be great employers for the community and provide people with lasting jobs and careers. He also hopes that Blanding can attract new businesses that improve the quality of life for local residents.
According to the Cortez Journal, with a photo of Jorgensen, a man accused of starting a Colorado wildfire that has forced the evacuation of more than 2,000 homes, acknowledged building a fire on land where he has been living, but said he made sure it was out, a court document says. Jasper Jorgensen, age 52, initially said he had started a fire to burn trash on land where he has been living in a camper, but then said he had been grilling in a permanent fire pit the day before the wildfire started, the document states. Jorgensen, who reported the wildfire about 205 miles southwest of Denver, said he woke up Wednesday from a nap, smelled smoke, and saw a fire burning in sagebrush about 20 feet away from the fire pit. He said he tried to put it out, but caught a blanket on fire and burned himself. Authorities haven't released details on the extent of the fire damage, but the arrest affidavit laying out the evidence against Jorgensen said about 25 residences had been burned to the ground as of Thursday when he was arrested. The document also said 3 people were initially listed as being unaccounted for after the fire broke out, but it's not clear if those people were later found. The Rio Grande Scenic Railroad said the fire destroyed its outdoor concert stage and it is raising money to rebuild it. The Castillo County Sheriff's Office did not return a telephone call seeking clarification. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking at the national weather map, along with more heat in the south and east today, flash flooding and severe weather are possible related to a low pressure system in the northern plains. A low will lead to rain and storms along the Louisiana coast as well. And you can see most of the country has that potential for rains and thunderstorms, excepting the northwestern states and the southwest and parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Our regional weather update shows that broad area of high pressure remains over the eastern half of the U.S., while an upper level trough and weak cold front remain to our northwest. The jet stream will amplify on the upstream portion of this trough, causing it to stay to our north along with most of the precipitation. However, we will see some breezy conditions this afternoon. The area of high pressure will allow some moisture to creep up northward, but the location will keep the deepest moisture over the Front Range and areas to our east. For today, then, some instability exists with a possibility of firing off of a few thunderstorms, but not much, if any, in the way of ground-reaching rain, and temperatures will remain on the hot side. For Wednesday, the forecast is very similar to today's, with some isolated convection over the central and southern mountains. Winds should also be lighter. Longer range forecast says over the Four Corners region, the system late week could lead to a few wetting storms into the weekend. Moisture opportunity tapers off across the northern zones, although a few cells will be possible over the weekend. Temperatures will also moderate slightly on the high end, but the increased moisture will lead to warmer overnight lows. The hazardous weather warnings states winds will pick up today thanks to a system to our northwest. These winds will combine with low humidities, creating critical fire weather conditions, so a red flag warning has been issued for parts of eastern Utah and western Colorado. A few showers, may be a quick storm, are possible over the San Juans and central mountains this afternoon. Moisture will increase towards the end of the week, causing an increase in chances for some afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Let's take a look at the local DCTV 5-day outlook. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 84. South-southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 25. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 56. South-southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southeast after midnight. For Independence Day, sunny with a high near 87. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 58. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming east-northeast after midnight. Then Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 90. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south-southwest in the afternoon. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 59. And Friday, sunny with a high near 89. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 58. Then Saturday, again sunny with a high near 90. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 59. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 91. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 59. So now, back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, since May, communities in southwest Colorado have enacted various levels of fire restrictions, which vary on a scale of 1 to 3 in an effort to prevent wildfires. While the different stages carry a host of restrictions, the main sticking points are no campfires, no fireworks, no charcoal grills, and no smoking outside. Generally, the public has complied with these fire restrictions since they went into effect, according to several local agencies. But with the arrival of visitors, an increased risk of a fire outbreak exists as a result of some people who may not be aware of the risks. As a result, local agencies are working to get the message out. Fitzgerald said Forest Service employees are sweeping local trails and roads, talking to anyone they encounter about what's allowed and what's prohibited in the forest.
In regional news from the Durango Herald, photo Susan Montoya and Brian Ape. The head of the U.S. agency that oversees the nation's nuclear weapons cache and key deterrence initiatives around the globe, describes working conditions at one of its largest hubs as untenable, saying Monday that the National Nuclear Security Administration finally has funding to address the problems. Lisa Gordon Haggerty, head of the agency, visited Albuquerque to mark the start of construction on a multi-million-dollar complex that will serve as a new workspace for some 1,200 employees. The new structure will replace 25 separate buildings scattered across an Air Force base that borders the southern edge of the city. Many of those buildings were constructed as military barracks during the Cold War, long before the need for high-speed internet and other technology that the agency needs to do its job. Problems range from broken windows and falling ceiling tiles to an unreliable sewer system and other outdated infrastructure. Members of New Mexico's congressional delegation have been pushing for the funding needed to build the new complex since taking a tour of the old cinder block buildings in the early part of 2016. Nearly $100 million in federal funding already has been secured for the project. The Trump administration, which has boosted the agency's budget since taking office, supports the project, and another $40 million for construction is pending in the budget request for the next fiscal year. The spending cap for the project has been set at $174 million, and construction is expected to take 2.5 years. The project, Gordon Haggerty said, represents critical and tangible proof of the administration's commitment to modernizing and recapitalizing our nuclear weapon complex of laboratories, plants, and sites. More than half of the nuclear agency's facilities are more than 40 years old, and nearly 1/3 date back to the top-secret Manhattan Project, Gordon said. Gordon Haggerty said. U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich, a New Mexico Democrat, was among those at the groundbreaking ceremony. He said the federal government is competing with Silicon Valley, Google, and other high-tech companies to recruit employees. Putting them in 60-year-old barracks with substandard heating and cooling does not send the message that we want to bring the best and the brightest here, he said. This building will send that message. Heinrich and U.S. Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grisham, Democrat of New Mexico, said securing the funding for the project so quickly amounted to a home run for the agency and the state of New Mexico, which is home to 2 national laboratories that play significant roles in the nuclear agency's mission.
Reported by the Durango Herald, it may seem like a contradiction, but more adults in the U.S. say they are exercising at the same time more of them are becoming obese. About 24% of adults last year said they exercise enough each week to meet government recommendations for both muscle strengthening and aerobic exercise, according to a large annual health survey that was up from 21% in 2015. The same survey says 31% of adults indicated they were obese last year, up slightly. Another more rigorous government study has also found adult obesity is inching up. So, if more Americans are exercising, how can more also be getting fatter? It's possible that people becoming more active are already normal weight, said John Jakic, director of the University of Pittsburgh's Physical Activity and Weight Management Research Center. The numbers come from an in-person annual national survey that for more than 60 years has been an important gauge of U.S. health trends. Roughly 35,000 adults answer the survey every year, including questions about how often, how long, and how vigorously they exercise in their leisure time. The survey gives a good sense of trends, but it's not perfect. People generally overstate how much they exercise, just as they overstate their height and lowball their weight, Jakic said.
In Colorado politics, from the Durango Herald, photo credit Ernest Luning. U.S. Representative Jared Polis, the Democratic nominee for Colorado governor, plans to tap former state representative Diane Primavera to be his running mate, Colorado politics had learned. Polis, a 5-term U.S. congressman from Boulder, Polis plans to introduce Primavera, a former counselor and the CEO of a nonprofit that fights breast cancer, during what the campaign is describing as a listening tour devoted to health care concerns on the Western Slope on Tuesday. Today, Republican nominee Walker Stapleton, the 2-term state treasurer, has yet to name his running mate. Polis said he picked Primavera, age 68, from among a half-dozen finalists for the lieutenant governor nomination because her broad experience in health care augments his experience with education, 2 issues the Democrats say will be at the center of their campaign. Polis said that Primavera's experience across a range of health care roles, working for the state, setting policy, and running a nonprofit, as well as her ability to win an election in a competitive district, helped him with his decision. Primavera, a 29-year survivor of breast cancer, has headed the Denver-based Susan G. Komen Colorado Foundation since last year. She won election 4 times to the Broomfield-based House District 33, but also lost twice, including the first time she ran in 2004 and in her 2010 bid for re-election in what turned out to be the closest race in the state. Primavera won the seat back in 2012 and served 2 more terms. At the State House, Primavera chaired and sat on the Public Health Care, Human Services, Health Insurance, and State Audit Committees. Both candidates said the listening tour, with stops scheduled in Grand Junction and Durango, would be emblematic of their approach to the fall campaign. My training has been as a counselor, so one of the skills I think I bring best to the discussion is listening, Primavera said. I think it's important to listen to what people are going through, what their needs are, what some of the obstacles are. Polis added, our goal is to do 2 things. One is to save people money, then we want some of those savings to go to expanding access and covering more people with a goal of universal coverage. Universal health care is a dividing issue for many across Colorado. Republican gubernatorial candidate Stapleton, as we said, has yet to announce his choice for lieutenant governor on his ticket for November.
According to the Durango Herald with an AP file photo. Go ahead and have that cup of coffee, maybe even several more. New research shows it may boost chances for a longer life, even for those who down at least 8 cups daily. In a study of nearly 500,000 British adults, coffee drinkers had a slightly lower risk of death over 10 years than abstainers. The apparent longevity boost was seen with instant, ground, and decaffeinated results that echo U.S. research. It's the first large study to suggest a benefit even in people with genetic glitches affecting how their bodies use caffeine. Overall, coffee drinkers were about 10% to 15% less likely to die than abstainers during a decade of follow-up. Differences by amount of coffee consumed and genetic variations were minimal. The results don't prove your coffee pot is a fountain of youth, nor are they a reason for abstainers to start drinking coffee, said Alice Lichtenstein, a Tufts University nutrition expert who was not involved in the research, but she said the results reinforce previous research and add additional reassurance for coffee drinkers. The study was published Monday in the journal JAMA Internal Medicine.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. So here's the update on the Dove Creek Pick and Hoe as best we have the details as of today's program. Gather along Highway 491 from the Dove Creek International Airport to the corner of Gyrene, where the parade will turn next to Triangle Park, and head to Weber Park for opening ceremonies somewhere in the park there, with our local VFW talent leading the way for a color guard salute. The parade starts at 9 a.m. The kids' games will follow at the practice field, and thanks to Katie Gardner and Frosty's Liquor for sponsoring this part of the event. At this time, there's not an indication whether there will be adult games to follow. The barbecue meat pit is in and cooking, and will reveal the Pick and Hoe lunch offering starting at 11:30 a.m. on the 4th at the Cook Shack at the park. The Dove Creek Volunteer Fire Department has opened their beer tent in the usual spot at the park and will be on hand throughout the festivities. That's not open quite yet. Vendors will also be set up in and around the park, as well as local groups providing information and items for sale. Then at 7 p.m. at the practice field, the group Sittin' Shotgun out of Cortez will be playing great country music. You're encouraged to bring a lawn chair or blanket and sit on the grass to enjoy the music before the fireworks show starts at dark 30, somewhere near 9:30ish, I believe. Since the 4th is on a Wednesday this year, the organizers decided to continue the traditional events and tournaments over the following days. So right now, Thursday is for the sand volleyball competition at Weber Park. Registration at 9, starting at 10. Thursday evening is the basketball court dance starting at 7 p.m. Then Friday is the washers and horseshoe tournaments in the basketball court at Weber Park, and that is registration at 9 and it starts at 10. Friday evening is the Alec Tabor Color 5K fundraiser for the scholarship. That's set for departure at 6:30 p.m. out of Weber Park. And the Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a 2-night summer dance party starting at 7 p.m. in the community center. Both nights it's free to attend, and Friday is glow stick night to light up the evening. Saturday is the softball tournament, again with registration at 9 a.m. and the games begin at 10 a.m. with the second summer dance party starting again at 7 p.m. in the community center with VDJ plus Ultra playing the music. There may be more events that aren't listed as of the time of this broadcast, so be sure to stop by Weber Park to check out the 63rd annual Pick and Hoe celebration in Dove Creek, Colorado. All of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on social media. Our Facebook page is DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.